happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Never gonna lose, never gonna win. As long as you're happy, you're always gonna grin. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. You get out what you put in. Here we are. We're live. It's Tuesday. It's 12:30, and this is Live and Link In with me, Ashley Leeds, and my special guest this week, Rachel. How the devil are you?
I'm very good, thank you, Ashley. Very good indeed, and I'm hoping you're the same.
Oh, but you know me. I'm always like that. But if anyone doesn't know you, tell us, who is Rachel Harmsworth?
I am an author and a book writing coach. I help people write their business and self-help books from idea to edit and beyond.
Fantastic. Why not novels then? Why business books?
Do you know, I used to be a fiction writing teacher, a creative writing tutor at Portsmouth University, and then I went and did private tutoring and whatnot. And after a little while, I just thought, do you know what? There's only one or two fiction genres that really interest me. I like a bit of fantasy and a bit of sci-fi and a bit of excitement and a bit of adventure.
Yep.
And a lot of my fiction clients were coming to me were, I'm going to be really stereotypical here, I'm afraid, but they were retired ladies wanting to write historical romances. That kind of thing, or people wishing to write their memoirs, or things that just were probably fabulous and fascinating to a lot of people, but not to me. It just wasn't my genre. Whereas I found non-fiction books, self-help books and things like that, I find them all interesting. I help people make them interesting. So
absolutely. That's fascinating. So I guess because of the background of the fiction, you're making these what could be quite dull topics a little bit more fun.
I don't allow my clients to write dull. We don't do dull.
Okay.
Absolutely not. No, I mean, most of my clients are perfectly in agreement with me when I say to them, let's structure this thing and make sure from the start that we have got some excitement in there. We've got some personal stories in there. We've got some anecdotes. We've got some case studies. I mean, it's a difficult thing to do if you're writing how to fix a Ford Fiesta or something like that, but you can still do it. You can still make that exciting. Believe it or not. I've not written a book called How to Fix a Fiesta, but I'm imagining I could probably help to make it exciting.
Excellent. There you go. So if anyone out there is wanting to write a book, I think Haynes have that covered though, don't they?
They do have that pretty much. They've got the corner of the market there. Yes,
absolutely.
I have yoga instructors, business owners, coach self-help coaches. I have all sorts of people that come to me wanting to write various different books, and I've never found a non-fiction book yet that I've found that's boring to help them write or boring to read afterwards. It's not dull. It's the self-help and business market are always quite exciting because people only do what they're excited in usually.
And this is the thing, right? So just a minute ago, before we just go in there, let's just quickly say hello to Michal. Good afternoon, sir. So you were doing private tutoring for fiction books, but the people that were coming to you wasn't bringing you joy.
Absolutely. And then we hit March 2020. Lockdown, everybody thought, oh, I'll get on Zoom instead. Never heard of Zoom, never been on online meetings and things like that personally at the time. And I thought, do you know what? I need a business coach that's going to help me to get online, to pivot online and start being a writing coach online, not a writing tutor face-to-face, because you couldn't do face-to-face anymore at that point, obviously.
No.
So I did, and I got a fabulous business mentor for a year, and we learned how to do marketing and funnels and all sorts of fun things like that. Just pivoted online basically. Got to the point where I was making my own website and building a brand and doing all these fabulous fun things in the background, and starting to really get into the juiciness of strategy and structure in books and things like that. And that's the bit I find fun.
Yeah, awesome. Have you got a dog trying to get into your house?
I'm so sorry about the scratching noise in the background. I'm just going to give him a treat.
So, right, we've already got a question in. Thanks for hosting this event. Would you use all your blog posts and notes you wrote over the years and package them into a book? If yes, how? Yeah, do you know, I knew the answer without having you on the show, Rachel.
That's a fantastic place to start from.
Obvious place to start, absolutely. All right, then. So the question is, how?
Yeah, so what I do with people's ideas is, because people come to me with a lot of ideas, and they say, I don't know which one to write and I don't know where to start. And I say to them, well, give me 3 potential titles or working titles for what you'd like to write about. Give me a sentence maybe for each of these ideas. Write them down and give them to me. And they give me a sentence for each of these ideas. Some of them have 2 or 3 ideas. Some of them have 20. And I say, read them out loud to me. And they read them out loud. And I say, that one just lit you up. That one just absolutely lit you up, and you gave me more than a sentence because you were excited about it. Let's explore that. So we look at things they've done in the past, their experience, whether that's blog posts, whether that's their experiences with their own clients, and things like that. We talk about that. We explore that in a strategy call, and we nail that idea. And if they've got things like blog posts and notes, scribbled notes from the last 20 years and all sorts of things like that, it makes my life much more exciting, because I can look through those and say, you've got a book here already. Let's just structure it. If you've got all the words, just not necessarily in the right order, then you just need somebody to help you put them in the right order, and that's it. You've got a book.
Yeah, and I think that's the secret, isn't it? Is some sort of order. You know, when you watch a movie, they've had a storyboard to get the story. When you're reading a novel, there's a beginning, middle, and end. Yeah. Well, if I've just spent the last 20 years writing blog posts and notes and stuff, do I do it in chronological order, or maybe something I did in the middle is more important? And so that's why we need you, Rachel.
Absolutely.
So this person, I can't see what your name is, but there's some settings in LinkedIn that you need to do so I can see your name. So if you put another comment on, put your name in the comment as well, and we can give you a shout out. But if this person just wasn't sure where to start, do you offer a free hello chat or something just to give them the encouragement? Yeah. No, I know you chat to anybody. You're chatting to me today.
Well, there you go. I do. I have on my website, I've got a calendar, a Calendly calendar that they can just click in and book a time and a date that they want to chat to me for half an hour for free for, and we'll just bounce ideas around and see what's in their brain and see what's in my brain that can help order what's in their brain.
Fantastic.
And come up with some sort of idea and structure for a strategy for the future, for planning the whole thing. I'm all about the structure and the strategy. It's my favorite part of the job. I prefer it to the actual writing.
If I was going to build a house, I'd get some plans and I'd build some really strong foundations. So I guess this is exactly right, isn't it? You've got to have, and if I was going to, I'm going to London at the weekend. Mm-hmm. I know where my train is. I know where I'm going to park. I know where I'm going to get off at the end. I've planned it all. I know where I'm going. I don't just sort of drive somewhere and hope I bump into a station. Yeah. So now, go on.
I was going to say, if you wanted to, you could just get in your car and go, do you know what, I'm just going to drive, see if I get to London, see where I go in the meantime, enjoy the journey, get to London, see what's there, blah blah blah. But when you finished your trip to London and come back again, you'd have an awful lot to unpick. You'd have an awful lot of stuff that you'd have to pull out and think, do you know what, this was good, but that wasn't so good. This place was nice, but I wouldn't go there again. It's the same writing a book. If you don't start with a strategy, if you don't start with a map to London and a list of things to do and stations, then you're going to have a heck of an edit at the end of the book. And it's the editing bit that makes people cry. Or as you so well put it, makes people lose the plot. I did love that line. I may have to ask you if I can steal that.
You carry on. But this is the thing, right? So I've got an idea for a book. I've got some blogs I've written before and stuff like that. So I'm going to package it all up. But what about why should I write a book? Because I've been writing for a while. I've got some interesting articles, and people say they like my writing style. But why should I write a book?
Okay, there's a lot of positives about being an author and being able to say you're an author, and it's in the word. It shows your authority. It shows that you have got an authority on the subject, that you're the expert in your field. It's what I call a mega business card. Instead of giving a little piece of card with one line on about, the fact that you're the 15-minute guy, which is very catchy, by the way. There you go. Instead of just having your business card, if you can show people a book and go, oh, by the way, there's my book, plug it. It's a mega business card. And when someone's read your book, they have done the equivalent of your discovery call times 1,000. They've read everything you wanted to say about yourself and your business. Or even if they've even skimmed through it, they've seen a lot about you and your business, and they have no more objections. They're gonna get on that call with you, and they're gonna book whatever you're offering, because they're a really hot lead at that point, basically. So I mean, it does give you a huge amount of credibility, a huge amount of authority, but also when you're actually writing it, and you probably found this when you were writing yours, it gives you a massive insight into your own business, gives you loads of clarity into your own business as you're writing it, and you're finding out, from the depths of your brain, I didn't even realize I did that. I didn't even realize I knew that. And you're researching your own business, basically, and making everything clear. And when when you've got clarity in your own business, it's easier to market that business to potential leads. So, and the pride as well, the pride and the joy.
Do you know what you just mentioned before we went live? Like I've got a pile of books on the floor here. They were delivered yesterday. And it was raining yesterday, so they're all on the floor drying out. That none of the books got damaged, but all the packaging got damaged. And I was just worried about repacking them and them being wet. So they've got 100 books on the floor, because I'm going to a few events over the next few months, and I'd be giving a few away. And so, like you say, it is a great business book. All right, so I've got an idea. I've decided I'm going to do it. How long is it going to take me to write my business book, please, Rachel?
Well, that depends on a few things. So the variables are how much time you dedicate yourself to your writing each week. One of the things that I teach is making the best use of the time that you've got, because one of the main objections people come up with to writing a book is, I don't have time. Yeah, you do. If we kind of beat procrastination, beat the whole negative idea of writer's block, beat the whole negative idea of I don't have time, and we actually sit and make some time and find out where we could pull that time from, and we schedule an hour each day or an hour a week even, it's surprising how much we can get done. And so let's say, for example, it's quite surprising when you look at the stats. Let's say, for example, I wanted to write a 97,500 word novel. That's very specific, but I'm going to tell you why. Because that, writing an hour a day for 5 days a week and taking a couple of days off, would take me 6 months to write, which is surprisingly short.
How do you know this? That's amazing. Say that again, please. Say that again.
I know this. So if you wanted to write, and we're not writing this kind of length book, but I'm just giving you an example that's extreme. If you wanted to write a novel, which are generally around 90,000 words, depending on the genre and the age for, and so on. So let's say you were to write a 90 to 100,000 word novel, hour a day, 5 days a week, average your writing speed about 750 words in an hour for a draft. You're going to write that entire novel, that draft, in 6 months. You've got editing and publishing and things, marketing and things going on after that for the next 6 months as well. But you're going to write that first draft in 6 months. So if you think how short your book could be, if it's a business book or a self-help book of say 35, 40,000 words, which is kind of the average kind of for publishers. And you're looking at writing that in just 2 or 3 months, really. Yeah, 12 weeks maybe.
Okay.
Like that.
So I've written the book.
Mm-hmm.
So I've planned it. I know what it is. I've written the book. How long is it going to take me to edit? Because you just said 6 months.
Aha. No, the edit And the marketing and the publishing and the pushing your book and the getting it out there could take up to 6 months and could be continuous beyond that, of course, as you know. The actual edit itself, with the structure method that I was talking about, with the funneling the idea and then expanding it into the book and getting the chapter by chapter, section by section, topic by topic, bullet pointed structure that I work with people on, you could have that edited in a couple of weeks, because it's kind of already self-edited before you've even finished.
That's what I was thinking. If you're doing it properly, then to use my house analogy, because I've got the plans and what have you, I don't have to build an extension later on or knock something down.
Absolutely.
And so if we're doing it right, we're editing as we go.
Absolutely. Yeah. Your best laid plans and all that are actually a good idea when it comes to book writing, definitely, because if you start at once upon a time, and there's nothing that says you can't, you can if you like. If you start at once upon a time and just go through and write what comes to you as it comes to you, you're going to have a big old editing job at the end.
Oh, lovely. Right. Okay. So I've got some books in front of me. So there's mine. Okay, that is quite big. 118 pages. I've got a tiny little book here by Daniel Priestley, and this one's 180 odd pages. So this is Scorecard Marketing, but he's also done The Key Person of Influence, and it's this book here that inspired me to write a book, because he talks about that there. This book is a normal size book, and we're looking at 200 pages. And then I've also got Mike Michalowicz, who's written quite a few books, and his is, where are we? 200 pages as well, but that's a lot bigger, and it's a hardback. So should I feel inferior because I've only got just over 100 pages, or doesn't it matter?
Have you told your audience, your readers, everything you wanted to tell them in that book? Everything they need to know?
Absolutely.
Excellent. Then why fluff it out and put another 100 pages in there? You've got the quality within X 100 pages. Somebody else may have more to say and may put that quality in 200 pages. Somebody else who's perhaps not been through my courses might go, I better have 200 pages because that's a really good.
That's what everybody else has got.
Put 100 good quality pages in and then fluff it out. Don't fluff it out.
This is why I'm the 15-minute guy.
Absolutely.
Contrary to other rumors that go around. But I'm the 15-minute guy because we book a meeting and our default on the calendar is half an hour or an hour. So we book half an hour or an hour, probably an hour, because then we can get to know each other. But we only really talk about what we really want to talk about in 15 minutes. And so when I do webinars, I go straight in. I'm not wasting time telling everybody about how amazing I am and at the end trying to sell them stuff. I keep it concise. So that's a good point, because there isn't, what's the point of filling up loads of pages just to make it look bigger? Absolutely.
Yeah. No. It's you go back to your house analogy. If you've got just you and a partner wanting to live in a 2-bedroom house, and you think, but everyone else has got a 4-bedroom house, I better build one of those. You're going to have a lot of redundant space and a lot more cleaning to do.
Yeah, absolutely. This is great. Right. Okay.
Analogies.
So I've written the book. I've edited it. Does it matter whether it's hard or soft back, or does it? What do I have to have on the front? Because the title is the key thing, isn't it?
The title is important. Your entire book cover is important, because it's the first thing people are going to see is your book cover. They're going to see the title, they're going to see your name, and they're going to see an image. There we go. And so as long as the look of the book cover and the blurb on the back is enough to make them want to buy the book, they will buy the book before they've even opened it in their mind or in reality. And so what have you got there? 101 ideas for LinkedIn content made easy. There you go. Says what it does on the tin.
Yeah, absolutely. Proper roast here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's got you on the front, and that's what you're selling is you. So that's fantastic. And you've got your name as an author there, smaller than the title, which is the right thing to do when you're the debut novelist, or not novelist but writer. And if you're an author who's published half a dozen books, and people know your name and know that that's the type of book they're going to be getting, then put your name a little bit bigger. But from the start, don't worry about emblazoning your name right across the thing and putting the title small. Put the title big. Put a really good blurb on the back that sells the book, and you've done it. And by all means, go to a professional book cover designer. It'll cost you a couple of £100, £200-300 to get a really good title, really good cover, really good layout and blurb and whatnot. But it's so worth it because so many people, some do it really successfully, some really successfully go into Canva or whatever else, and write to make up a book cover, and it looks absolutely great. Some people can't do that, and they end up publishing a really good book with a really bad cover, and it puts people off straight away.
So hang on, are you saying we do judge a book by its cover?
Absolutely we do. Absolutely we do. I know that because I do it, and I think probably pretty much everyone does it. Very few people walk into a bookshop and pick up a copy of every book on the shelf to read the first page, put it back and go, not that one, first page of that one, not that one. They look through, they go, oh, look at that one looks interesting. You do judge a book by its cover. Absolutely.
No, fantastic. So got the book title, got the cover, it's all looking perfect. Publishing. Now, do I do it self-publish on places like Amazon and KDP, or do I get myself an agent and then go to Penguin or Random House or whoever else does book publishing?
My personal advice is that with a business book, you need to self-publish it. And there's one reason only, because traditional publishing takes too long. If you go and look for an agent, you could spend months or even years finding one. They could then spend months or even years finding a publisher. Even if you were lucky enough to get an agent like that and a publisher like that, they could spend the next 18 months before it gets on the shelf, getting you to do all sorts of work on it and edits on it and faffing about with the cover and all sorts of things and marketing and things, plans and stuff. It's generally, between getting an agent and having your book on the shelf somewhere, it's generally 18 months to 2 years.
Wow.
Which is great for fiction if you're looking for a traditional publisher for fiction, because in that 18 months to 2 years, you can be writing the next book in the sequel, or in the series rather, or whatever, planning your next project out. But for business books, as you know, you need that out there now, and you need it out there quickly to be able to sort of get you know, because things aren't always current for very long, are they? I mean,
no,
not the stuff that you've got in your book. If I was to read your book in 10 years' time, I might be looking at it going, what's limiting? Hopefully not.
Yeah, I'm hopefully not as well. But yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
If I was to write a book on, I have written a book on how to write a book. So, but if somebody was to read that in 10 years' time, they might go, but AI writes all the books these days. Nobody writes their own books these days.
Yeah,
you know, it is, because things aren't always, you know, current for too long. When you're writing in business, and you know, you want that mega business card to give out now, not in 2 years' time.
Absolutely. So Costanza, who's watching, they've turned around and said they've got all of this content that they could use for a book. So realistically, they could get a book out in time for Christmas and on the shelves.
Yes. Yeah. Where are we? Beginning of September, October, November. Yeah, 3.5 months. Yes, absolutely. You can have a book out on the shelves by Christmas.
Whereas if we were going to be looking for an agent, we could be looking a few Christmases time.
Couple of years time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So I mean, the suggestion for editing it yourself, again, it easier to do, as we said, with planning and structure. But if you wanted to get a professional editor in, a third eye on the thing from, you know, yours and maybe your beta reader or somebody that's read it for you and said, yeah, that's really great and everything. You wanted to get a professional eye on it as well. You can pay an editor £600-700 for a sort of average length business book. and get their opinions on it, get their commentary on it, get their critique on it, get their sort of structure on it and whatnot, and that can be a really good thing to do if you're not 100% sure that it's exactly right, and then you publish it. There's a difference in timing between self-editing it and getting somebody else to edit it for you, in that somebody else might have a 6 months wait list to do that. I collaborate with the book marketer, a chap called Nick, and I do the first bit, the structuring, the strategy, the planning, the plotting, the breakdown, the getting the draft from idea to edit. He does offers the book design service, the editing service, the publishing service, that sort of thing, or whatever. So the second half of it isn't my bag exactly, it's my collaborator's bag, but sorry, I've gone off on a tangent.
No, that's absolutely, because that's the thing. We can't be expert in absolutely everything. Like I work with people. I don't take the photographs, but I know a lot of photographers. And I don't know anything about Instagram, but I've got a very good friend that does Instagram and another friend that does copywriting. So yeah, that's how we all work. I can't believe the time has gone already. It's been lovely having you on. Absolutely fantastic insight. Thank you to everybody for all your questions. Now, I believe you have a question for me about LinkedIn, don't you?
I do. And this has been really bothering me because up until I met you some time ago, I had only ever been social posting on Facebook and Instagram, and you persuaded me very well that LinkedIn was a good way to go as well. And you're so right. Since I've been on LinkedIn, I've had lots of connections, lots of potential clients, a couple of actual clients and whatever. Wow. But I can't get my head around the transition from posting on Facebook and Instagram in a very informal, chatty, personal point of view way to trying to get it a little bit more maybe formal on LinkedIn, a bit more business-like. Do you think it's okay to post the same thing as you've done on Facebook and Instagram straight onto LinkedIn?
What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Oh, right. Okay. So here we go. So here's the thing. People buy from people who they know, who they like, and who they trust.
Okay.
All right. And we've all got our own personalities. We've all got our own outlook on life. We've all got our own experience. And it's those sorts of things that we're attracted to or repelled from. Okay. So think of LinkedIn exactly like a networking meeting. So we met on a Federation of Small Businesses Zoom, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. So there's loads of people on screen, and then we jump into little rooms. Now we jump into little rooms. We hit it off. Mm-hmm. We've jumped into other rooms. We haven't hit it off with other people. But that's life, isn't it? We mm-hmm. cannot get on with everybody. Some people rub us up the wrong way. We rub people up the other way. But what we're doing, we're chatting about all kinds of stuff. And when we jumped into those little breakout rooms, we talked about anything and everything. We may have talked a little bit about our business, but I know you're from the West Country like me. So we chatted about the weather, the beach and stuff like that. In that way, we got to know each other. I got to find out about your books. I knew that you'd be a great guest on my show. You were being yourself mm-hmm. in that breakout room. Mm-hmm. You didn't sort of like stop the breakout room, go downstairs, put a suit on, put a tie on, do your hair, do your makeup and everything. You were unapologetically Rachel. Mm-hmm. Take that unapologetically, I can't even say it now, but take that to LinkedIn, because that's who you are. All right. Okay. And what happens is, right, someone's going to come on and go, oh, don't like Rachel. She speaks like this. She says that, whatever reason that anyone can think that they don't like Rachel, and that's fair to them. But if they don't like you, do you really want to work with them? No. So carry on doing what you're doing that you're comfortable with.
Okay.
You will get the odd person every now and again going, this shouldn't be on. Ignore them. They shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be on LinkedIn. All right. So just think about what you would do in real life or on a Zoom with FSB, and do exactly the same on LinkedIn. Does that answer your question?
It does. That makes me much more confident to post on LinkedIn, actually.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, thanks ever so much for that question. It's a really good question. And I know a lot of people have that issue as well. We didn't give an indication of cost or Nick's services. So do you want to quickly shout that out before we say goodbye?
Yep. So I have a membership that starts at £27 a month. I have a course coming up, a new course coming up on the 1st of October, which is a self-paced course, and that's £197. And I have my one-to-one coaching, which is a 6-month program with me one-to-one for £750. When it comes to the book marketers' costs to do the editing and publishing bit, they've got packages ranging from 500 to about 2,000, depending on what you want, what you needed bespoke at the time.
So something for everybody's budget. Absolutely brilliant.
Absolutely.
Before we say goodbye, I'm just going to give a shout out to Louisa, who's coming to join me next week. She's an expert money mentor, and that will be my last ever Tuesday show. So I've stopped my Wednesday show. I'm going to be stopping my Tuesday show, and I will be going on Monday. So you still get your fix of me if that's what you want, and all my wonderful guests. But until then, Rachel, thank you very much indeed. Thank you to everybody for being on the show and your comments. And I will see you next week.
Thank you for having me.
Cheerio now. Bye-bye.
You get out what you put in.